Sway in the morning, Shade 4-5. Happy 2018, man. Okay, all right. That was our first Get in the Game. Now we have our first official guest of 2018 on a show that by the end of the year we'll probably have at least 3,500 guests run through here. This is our first, and we always make the first indicative of the year. What kind of year we want to have. We like to set the tone in many ways, by the music we play, by the segments we do, by the stories we have, by the guests we have. And when you think of the guest has to be somebody who's really been a pioneer in their field. You know, somebody who's been a groundbreaking, vanguard, visionary, that has in some ways helped shape and mold culture in the way that we see it. Somebody who's been able to adapt with the times, Heather B., be it politics or even be it technology.
Right.
You know, and our next guest is someone I got a chance to meet before I even met him, because a good friend of mine who hired me over at MTV and back in 2000 spoke highly of him and his movement after his documentary came out. And I'm talking about a guy by the name of Dave Saronic. And he spoke really highly of this guy and his partner Max, the creators and executive producers of the show Catfish, the TV show, which is premiering tonight with the season 7 have to be at 10 p.m. on MTV. We got Nev Schulman, ladies and gentlemen.
Season 7.
What up? Yeah, what's up? Wow, first guest of the year.
This is it, man.
That's big.
Don't fuck this up. All right? You're the first person we talked to, and I really didn't want to talk to nobody.
I got to set the tone.
You got to set the tone, Nev. Man, what is it, 7 seasons?
Yeah, I mean, we started making the show in 2011. It aired in 2012.
Yep.
And we thought that would be it. I really thought, wow, we did a season of this show. People are obviously watching it, but once they figure out, how to avoid getting catfished, that'll kind of be the end of it.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're still making it.
People haven't figured it out. You know, I was watching the show not too long ago, man. I just watched reruns because I will admit the first few seasons I was heavily into.
Sure.
And then I kind of stopped watching TV the same way. And then I said, let me go back and watch the show. And it's even more compelling today than I think it was back then.
A lot has changed since 2012.
Yeah.
I mean, with social media, with our phones, with relationships, with just the world in general. And I think a lot of people say, like, oh, man, I can't believe that show's still in the air. Like, wow, you're still making that show. And I think what you don't realize is that the show has been changing because young people have been growing up with the internet and with social media, and they're living their lives in a very different way than any of us were living our lives when we were teenagers, and even when the way anybody was living their lives 5 years ago. So there's a whole new way that people are relating to each other. You know, people come on the show, and we ask them, like, how come you haven't video chatted? You've been talking to this person for months, and that's always like one of the first questions. Kids don't video chat. It's too personal. All these young people that say, oh, that's awkward. I don't want to look at someone when I'm talking to them. I feel much more comfortable just texting. There's like a whole new way that people are relating to each other.
FaceTime, I thought that was big. Right. Like my daughter won't even talk to me unless I FaceTime her.
All right, well, maybe if it's your like parent-child thing, but like when it comes to intimate relationships, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of young people find that they can be more themselves, and they're more comfortable when they're not looking at like the other person face to face.
So what happens when they meet face to face? They can't even socialize, right? Like right? Isn't it a dysfunction? Like you only could communicate through text, and do you find that to happen when these folks finally meet?
I mean, look, we could label it based on our experience and the way that we consider sort of proper socialization.
Okay.
But the reality is, it's just changing. I mean, the right way to have a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend now is different than it was for us.
All that texting, and when they finally meet face to face, they boning. It's just smashing, and then the relationship is over.
The texting is the foreplay?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, so all I gotta do is text a girl, and then I can bang her out? Oh, I'm just saying in theory. Right?
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense when you get pressured into sex. Sometimes it's because you're awkward and you just want to you'd rather lean on body language than actually your own actual words. This is sad. I don't care. It's not normal.
Did you do?
Tracy tapped out. Like.
Damn, I didn't say it for that, Nee. I didn't say it for that reason.
First guest of the year. This really took a turn,
Some
guys.
people are tapping out. I'm just saying, all of this communication, I think I agree with what you're saying. It makes sense because all of this communication and these words, you're building this relationship up in your head, and then by the time you see the person, y'all have done all this talking, feel like I know him, Let's get it in.
Well, but also I think part of what makes the show happen is that there's very little mystery left in the world, right? I mean, you can go on the internet and at any moment you can find out stuff, right away, and everything you want to know about someone is pretty much right at your fingertips. And so I think people are excited by the idea that they're talking to someone who they don't really know that well, who's sort of out of reach, who is sort of somewhat veiled behind some mystery. And that's what we're learning making the show now 7 seasons in, is that like people want a little unknown in their lives. They want to be able to build that mystery. I mean, look, everyone used to read a lot more, and they used to create and imagine things in their heads, and that's sort of become a little bit less common these days. And so alternatively, I think a lot of people are looking to these strange, unusual internet friendships to like bring a little mystery back.
DB, you a digital dater.
Yeah,
you want to chime in on this?
I've dibbled and dabbled in it a little bit. I'm just surprised that people are still, like you were saying earlier, are still getting caught with this and falling for the catfish thing when after so many years you would think at some point, because I know how it is, like you were saying with finding out information so readily available, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you can go and Google people and find all their accounts, and it's just like, I know I do it. Yeah, I mean, you can look up anybody. You can find mugshots, arrest records, like pretty much anything is on the internet with a lot of people. Okay. And sometimes but
Sway over here taking notes. He's like, I better clear that shit out. Like,
damn.
Oh man, I got.
But when it comes to dating, it's like I'm the type of person where I don't want to know everything right up front, because then it's like when you meet, then what the hell do you have left to talk about? You know what I mean? And that's why people are rushing to
What
just
do you mean,
fuck.
what do you have left to talk about?
Because if you're texting for so long and you're like having long conversations about what you like, your interests, where you've been, what you do for a living, then you get in front of each other and it's like, okay, this was more comfortable when we were texting.
Okay, you get in front of each other and let's go experience those things we like together.
That's a big part of it. I think the reality is, and Max and I talk about this a lot, and we're working on a big idea to maybe try and fix this. But people aren't having the shared physical experiences anymore as much, right? So like, if you live in a smaller town in America, like there may not be a lot going on for you to go and do. And so, we're lucky we live in the city. You can go on a date, you can go to a museum or an art gallery or a show or a concert. Like, those are the things that you're talking about, like the traditional sort of date. Like, let's go experience something together. It'll give us something to talk about. Let's see a movie, whatever. Yeah. And I don't think people are doing that as much for any number of reasons. I mean, obviously the movies are still a thing, but like, young people need to go out and share things with other people more, I think. And because we're all so isolated on our phones all the time, we're forgetting. We feel like we're connected and we're part of an activity or a shared culture, but we're not actually going out and like having the face-to-face, in-person things that then create content to discuss and build a relationship on.
Exactly. New, fresh shit. Look at her face. Look how sad she is, Nev.
You know what? I'm just thinking about how we feed each other the edited versions of ourselves. That's all.
Yeah. That's true, too.
But we're little avatars. We're creating these fake, false images. That's why when I watch your show and people finally see each other, they're looking at each other like, damn, is that who this was?
But that's nothing new. I mean, even when you used to go out to a bar before the internet and you see a guy or a girl, they look good, you got a few drinks, you're having fun, and then maybe you go home and you smash, and the next morning you wake up and you're like, oh man, like this is not as fun as I thought it was last night. Like, now what?
You look different off Hennessy.
Right. I mean, once you get what you want, sometimes you realize you don't want it. You know what I mean?
Okay, Nev Schulman is here. Hold on, we'll come back with it. DB, everybody got questions. Matter of fact, if you ever been catfished, I know you get this question all the time, or how to avoid being catfished, 888-742-3345. The TV show Season 7 premieres tonight, 10 p.m. on MTV. That's the premiere slot, Nev. You got to get these numbers, baby. Yeah. All right, Sway in the morning, Shade 45.
I used to pray for times like this. I'm gone.
Let's see what we got. What's up, Nev Max? My name is Levante. I'm 17 years old and I live in St. Louis, Missouri. We need your help.
We?
My mom and I.
So he's written us on behalf of his mom.
I told her that she needs to watch out for this guy, but she just told me to mind my own business. I don't want to be all up in my mom's personal life, but I'm kind of worried about her. She's being catfished, guys. I'm sure of it. She won't listen to me. She won't let me see his profile because she knows I'll tell him what's up. Can you guys help?
Yeah, man, that's Catfish, the TV show, 7 seasons. The new season premieres tonight. We have Nev Schulman here with us right now, founder of Catfish. Put out the doc way back in 2010, I believe. Wasn't it? 2010. It was an amazing doc, and you guys turned it into a series, and it's been extremely successful. And, man, we just got a whole lot of questions, and I think it is a generational thing, too, and you get to be the liaison for us. You know, you get to explain this whole... I'm anti-digital dating, but I'm in a different position.
In a different space now.
I'm in a different space.
Yeah.
Was it your mom?
Yeah.
You said it on air. I'm not bringing
your
up
mom's
secrets.
online dating?
Yeah, my mother has done it.
Oh,
yeah.
Did it work
dating.
out? I mean, did she meet someone?
Neve, that's a hard topic for me to talk about, man. Somebody trying to bang out your,
It ain't gotta be that.
No, but actually she met because my mother comes from the medical field, so the type of the standard of guy that she would date has to match
my
that.
grandma was online dating for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if she met her current boyfriend that way or not, but like it was pretty funny. I mean, she was for about like a year while she was going on these dates. She was calling me all the time, saying like, "I got to ask you this question." She was sending me like screenshots, like, "What do you think? Is this guy legit?" Like, and she was telling me her funny dating stories. I mean, she went out with a guy who seemed to be very well off and successful. I mean, she's at the time, I think she was late 60s, early 70s.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and she went out with this guy, and at the end of the night, he said something like, "All right, well, I got to go to work." And she was like, "What do you mean work? It's like 9 o'clock. Like, what do you mean? This is an old dude."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I deliver pizzas." And good for him. He's working, but like he had presented himself very differently to my grandmother, who's like has multiple degrees and is a very serious businesswoman and was looking for a different level of older gentleman.
For money.
You saved up all them tips.
Your grandma's a gold digger. Need
no, she doesn't. No. She doesn't need to. But she wants a serious. She wants a. But she's not looking for a scrub.
Right. Match my fly.
Hence my mom.
Right,
She's not looking for a scrub.
Right.
All right, so Nev is here, man. 888-742-3. Just the idea, because Heather talked about digital dating. They just text, and then they bang out. Did your mom? You think your grandma put out at all?
Wow.
Did you think about
I
that?
think she's in her. Yeah, I mean, look. She spent a long time married to my grandfather. God bless his soul. Yeah. They had a wonderful relationship, but she's a beautiful woman. Yeah.
She got needs, right?
Got it popping.
She ain't getting us to the pizza man.
She's beautiful too. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. All right, Stick is on the line from Stick. Good morning. How you doing? From New York. Stick, what up?
What's good?
Hey, man, we got the expert in the studio with us right now. Whatever you want to know about being catfish, did you create the term catfish?
We did, yeah.
You guys created the term catfished.
Where did that come from?
It came from the title of the doc. We named it Catfish because of a story that someone told us in the movie, and then we just called it that, and it just took off. People just started using it.
Catfish is because that's the kind of, for many anglers, from my perspective, because I fish bass, crappie, panfish, whatever. The catfish is the one you don't want. Sometimes you can get a great fight out of a catfish, and then you pull it up, and it's like it's a bottom feeder.
Right.
So you don't necessarily want it.
Don't be
Wait a minute, let's get back to Stick.
Stick, my bad. Stick. Go ahead, Stick.
Good. It's all good, man. So I think I was the original person that got catfished back in like 2002.
Wow.
So I was going on vacation. I was like 18, 19 years old. We drove down to Florida. My boy's like, hey, I know this chick down there. We're going to link up with her. He shows me pictures of her. She's fine. I'm like, all right, cool. So I start talking to her on the phone down there. We never meet the girl down there. So I start talking to her. We get back home. I'm talking to her for like 6 months. This is AOL was cracking back then. She's sending me a picture. Like, this bitch is fine. I'm coming down. Book a flight to go down like 6 months later. Then she tells me, yeah, by the way, I'm not who I sent pictures of. This bitch was like 378 pounds with red hair, and she looked like the devil.
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent you.
Wait, so did you fly down before she told you or after?
Oh, fuck No, I didn't fly down. She told me that shit. I canceled that. Her mom gave me a refund on my flight.
Wow.
Oh, wow. He got money back.
From the mama.
Yeah.
Well, Florida is always a red flag. We got a lot of catfish in Florida, believe it or not.
So, Florida, what are the leading states up here?
Georgia,
Okay.
or Catlanta is what we call it.
Atlanta.
Florida and Texas are our biggest, catfish.
Why do you think Florida?
zones.
Why do you think Florida?
Well, Florida's got issues in general. But I mean, I think there's a lot of space down there. I think people are bored.
Yeah.
And same with Texas. I mean, anywhere where you're kind of you could feel isolated, and perhaps not necessarily comfortable expressing yourself. I think that's where people turn to the internet to sort of create alter egos where they can be more themselves.
Where people are retired. Those are really what it seems like.
All right.
Yeah, maybe.
TJ on the line from Chicago. TJ, what up?
What's going on, y'all? I would like to say Happy New Year to everybody. And also, I love the entire crew. I'm not singling nobody out.
That's what's up, man.
We love
TJ,
that.
you a citizen,
It's
man.
Sway in the morning,
Say hello
TJ.
to Nev from Catfish, the TV show.
What's up, Ned?
What's up, TJ?
You out here in these streets?
So what's so good? You got any online romances?
Yeah, I had a catfish. I'm in Chicago, and it was like Mount Vernon, like 4 or 5 hours away from me. And we was chatting for like a month. And I ended up going down there, and she didn't want to come outside. She sent her cousin outside. Like, she said she's busy. I'm like, man, tell her to come out. I just drove 5 hours now. So she came out. She was popped, you know. So I was like, I still smashed anyway, though.
Drove all this way for nothing, shit.
Yeah.
Still smashed.
That's some
Okay.
serious gas money.
All right. You could have avoided all of that, though.
You know what's funny? Everyone always says down, right? Like, so whenever you're going to meet someone,
Yeah.
the term is always like, so I went down there.
Yeah.
You guys ever notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's up
Even if north.
or
That's
south,
true.
Yeah.
east, west, it's
I
always
went
down.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I notice it all the time because I have to hold myself back from like interrupting people when they say it on the show because I want to correct them and be like, you actually, technically, you went up.
Yeah.
But I don't do it because it's annoying.
Well, you've become a really exceptional host at that show because you've mastered, like, as many catfish stories as you've had to navigate through. Each one feels like it's the first, right? When you watch Nev, it's like you really you really care about these people and helping them find some solution to what's going on. How much is that acting, man?
You know, it's funny. Max always jokes about it. He's like, you know, he always says to me, I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you sit there and listen and like pay attention and care so much for these hours that these people are talking? And how come you can't do that, you know, when we're not filming?
Dead.
And I mean, I'm sure it's a lot like being on the radio too. I mean, it's a job, right? Like when I'm making the show, I know that everything I have, all my focus and my energy has to be into helping these people.
Yeah.
And in order to do my job well, and in order for people to want to continue watching me do my job, like I need to do that. But it is interesting because it's a switch that I turn on.
Yeah.
And then when the cameras aren't rolling, that switch kind of naturally goes off. And I do notice that sometimes I wonder, like, wow, why can't I do that as well when I'm not on camera?
Yeah. When you had home with your wife and kid, right?
Right.
Yeah, but really what you want to say, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's true, though. But,
Yeah.
like, it's interesting. I mean, of all the things I could be doing, this is such a fascinating experience. And people have interesting stories to tell. And they're always weird and wild and interesting. And I get into it.
I'm going to take one more caller. This is Tiny. Good morning, Tiny.
Hey, Tiny.
Tiny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go. Damn, this is Tiny. It's always a big
What's
guy.
Tiny?
Yep.
Ah.
What's going on?
Why do they call you Tiny?
My name is Sonny.
Oh,
Oh,
Sonny. Oh, it's
okay,
a
okay.
misspell. My bad. Okay, go
I
ahead,
ain't that
Sonny.
big, brother.
Yeah, okay, my bad. All right, go ahead. Say hello to Nev, man. You been catfish?
Man, listen, I just moved down to PA from North Carolina after my divorce. And I got to admit, I was kind of lonely, so I went online and did the online dating stuff. This shorty got back at me. I got to admit, the picture I saw was fly. So we talked and talked and talked, so we finally agreed to meet up.
And I was like, I'm cool with that. I got a GPS my way around here. So she called me up on a Friday night and said, hey, listen, why don't we meet up at the bar close to where you live at? So I got up there. I'm holding my phone up, looking at the picture, trying to match a face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I woke up to this girl. I said, hey, how you doing? And she started talking. And I said, Jennifer? And she's like, nah, my name is such and such. I said, I apologize. So I'm about to walk out the bar, and this girl grabs my arm. She said, hey, Sonny. My jaw dropped, man. First of all, she was about at least 400 pounds.
Oh.
So I just looked at her. I'm like, damn, who is this? And I'm looking at the picture, and she finally's like, well, I didn't know if you're going to like me. The waitress came up and said, let me get a double shot of Hennessy.
Oh, Hennessy.
Told you.
Hennessy. That's the drug?
Like,
That's the drink?
Yes.
Okay.
Man, I had a double shot of Hennessy. I was so stunned.
Yeah,
I looked at her. I said, yo, why you lie to me? She's like, I didn't know if you're going to like me. And she's like, well, let's go back to my place. I can make it up to you. I'm like, sweetheart, my dick ain't big enough for this shit.
Buzz your girlfriend. What?
Wow. So you didn't
walked away.
You just walked away.
I had to, man.
Yeah, and then but how long had you been had you been communicating with her? Oh damn, man.
Until when I moved here.
So how long did you say? How long?
3 months.
3
Oh
months.
wow,
that's not-
3 months. I mean,
What
well, that's
killed
a
me
long
is
time.
this.
Can I ask,
She was
Sonny?
sending me pictures.
But Sonny,
And then, all the pictures look alike.
Sonny, had she showed you her real self at 400 pounds, you think you would have spoke to her?
That's a negative.
Okay, Sonny, being honest, Sonny,
Right.
you're a
No,
citizen, man.
she
You
had a
wanna-
point.
Right. But I mean, but the crazy thing is that when you were talking to her, right? You were texting, and you like had good conversation, right?
Yeah.
So you did like her personality.
I mean, her personality was great. I
See-
mean, we had a very stimulating conversation. I'm an older guy. I mean, I'm 42. She was in her 40s. It was that my whole thing is give me a chance to make the choice. Don't lie to me from the get-go.
Yeah, well, that's tough. I mean, we come across that sort of thing a lot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little different because she was on a dating site. That's kind of messed up. Like, it's one thing to just have a fake Facebook profile and to like make friends and try to have some conversations. Another thing to go on a dating profile to find people who are looking to, actually potentially get into a relationship. Because that's, I mean, that, then you're kind of wasting. Well, you're maybe wasting their time.
Yes. Plus, Sonny is like shallow Hal.
Right,
So
that's what I was
that's what
thinking.
it is. You found a woman whose personality you love. You just didn't like what her outer shell was.
Oh.
It wasn't just the outer shell. It was let me ask you a question.
Couple shells.
Body from the get-go?
Huh?
Would you go with a girl if she lied to you from the get-go?
We all lie.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. I mean, I'm lying to her too. We all. Get out of here, man. What is this, Dr. Phil?
If you'd like to make a call,
Get out of here,
please
man.
hang up and
All right.
try
Hey,
again.
so Nev, man, listen, and that's just we could talk about this all day, and we'll have callers all day long, man. Congratulations on this concept you created with Cash Ship. 7 seasons. How many more seasons? This is your 100th episode?
No, well, so season 7 starts tonight. The 100th episode is in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So that means syndication around the world. Bong, bong, bong.
I mean,
money,
MTV already plays the show all the time.
This dude is famous wherever he goes. I go places, they ask me if I know him. Yo, man, congratulations, man. You've done an excellent job.
Yes.
Continued success.
Thank
I can't
you,
wait
thank
to
you.
hear about that next big idea you and Max have.
I'm hoping that you can be involved.
Oh, man.
All of you guys.
Yo, yeah, put us involved.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
down. We're down.
Yeah.
Nev Schulman, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being our first guest in
All
2018.
right, all
brother.
right.
All right, up next, we got Celebrity Wire.
Yup, Kim and Kanye got big life changes en route.
Shade 45.